As it's Gav, I just wanted to show off a couple of my 10mm units that I've been painting recently. I have put these on like my blog, but I just thought you guys would like to have a look at them if you haven't seen them on YouTube. So these are my Williamite army for the League of Augsburg, which is around the 1680s, 90s type of period. These ones I'm going to be showing you now, the first two regiments are Protestant Huguenot regiments, and they served once the King Louis had kicked them out of France for being Protestants. They went on and served in lots of different, obviously Protestant countries like the Netherlands, and Denmark had a lot. I believe some of the German states might have used them. Either on an individual basis or as in entire regiments, and then obviously we use them as well, as in the our callers, we're called the English, but obviously that's England, Wales, and on the Irish establishments, obviously Scotland's still got a couple of years yet before the Act of Union when we became one country. But anyway, these are de la Molinières. I've probably absolutely murdered that, but unfortunately I can't speak my own language, never mind somebody else's. They're on 30 by 30 bases, MDF. The rocks are made up of bossed up cork and then dry brushed. Obviously usual static grass and tufts with some woodland scenics, little bushes, which I'm using for hedges at the moment, so I just thought I'd add them to some of the bases for variety. The colours that they're flying are from Pendragon. At the moment I'm using the League of Augsburg's, well, it's Warfare Miniatures, but they've got a fantastic blog. I encourage you to go and see it, called the League of Augsburg, and they do their own uniform guides, or they just have started doing them for a small fee. You can access them, and at the moment they're doing for regiments for the Battle of the Boyne, both sides, so that's the Jacobite side and the Williamite army. I'm at the moment obviously painting Williamites. To be honest with you, apart from the Huguenots, the Dutch and the Danes, where it's fairly mandatory really to have the certain regiments there, at the moment the English and the Irish regiments are literally just picking the colours I like of the uniforms and putting them on, because at the moment I can't see for a long time me actually having every regiment that served in Ireland, never mind the Low Countries. So I'm just keeping it to mandatory regiments like these Huguenots that have to, there was certain regiments there, so you paint them, and then I'm adding English and Irish regiments, as I particularly like any facing colours. So this is de la Molinières. Just bear with me for a second, because I've tried this a fair few times, getting these videos to different, having all the forces out in one go, and it just doesn't really work. So I'll just put them here as we go along. I might try a couple of close-ups in a minute. As I say, I'm still trying to. This is a new camera. Well, it's my first camera really. I've been shooting videos off an iPad before. I still don't have enough lights, so you're probably going to see this as a fairly darkish video, which will be annoying. This is Camelos. Again, I've probably murdered that. And again, Pendragon flags. These are Pendragon miniatures, by the way, and they're based for Beneath the Lily Banners 2. I'm not sure, they've brought a third one out now, and I'm not sure if there's any difference with the forces on the bases. The rules say you can have as many little fellas on the bases as you like, but they tend to only count the 6. The Huguenots didn't carry pikes, they'd moved on from that, like the Danes, so it's quite a little nice easy units to paint up, whether in these 10mm, 15s or 28s. These got brown facings, de la Molinières obviously had the blue. So that's these guys. Now for an English Dragoon regiment. Good old British redcoat, yellow facings. This is Leverson's, or Leverson's, wherever you want to pronounce it. Flag painted by me badly, as you can see, but at least it's as I say, I'm no good on a computer. I can't downsize these type of things, so I just find it easier to paint them myself, and they don't take a lot of effort. Again, as you can tell, there's a drummer with these ones. I had been I can't remember the regiment, the name of the dragoon regiment I painted earlier, but I gave those a trumpeter. But I thought I'm going to end up with a pile of drummers here and not use them, so I've put the drummer on there. I just always find they look so ungainly with a drum at the side of the horse, but there you go. With these type of bases, I don't tend to go to town on them, as in put in little tree stumps and rocks and bits and pieces, only because the way I see it, I would imagine, if you're going to charge, I know the dragoons at this time were really mounted infantry. They literally rode their horses to an area, left them, and obviously fought as infantry. But even still, I still class them as cavalry to a degree. So I just think if they're going to be charging, they'll be obviously charging over a field without obstructions. Now, that's just my take on it. So just a few tufts on these ones. And last one to show you today is another 12-pounder field piece. This is, again, I showed this on the blog and other bits and other places. It's just I've not put it on, used one on YouTube either. So this is a 12-pounder. I would have preferred Pendragon maybe to do some of the big siege guns, but at the moment they don't. They do some English Civil War mortars, which I'm going to get when I send off my next instalment. I'm going to get a couple of those as well. They do these gabions. They're made by Pendragon as well. These are metal. They weigh quite a bit actually. I don't know if you can see. I've used some old cornflake packet cardboard, painted some lines on, and made it out to look like floorboards they've ripped up from a house, so they can run the gun up and down it. Sometimes I put some of these guys as in the facings of infantry helpers. And sometimes, like in this case, I've just left them all red. The field gun is, according to the League of Augsburg, as you know, later on in the Napoleonics and that, we had grey gun carriages, and it obviously started off on this period because they say that were mainly in grey. So that's how it's been painted. Again, non-metallics. I do prefer it at this scale because my own personal view is metallics tend to sparkle too much and overpower these tiny little figures, but that's just my take on it. Anyway guys, thanks a lot for bearing with me and taking a little look at my 10mm Williamite army for the League of Augsburg. I hope everything's progressing well with you guys and your projects. There's some decent videos being put up at the moment, so thanks a lot, and I will catch you again on another vid. Cheers guys.